Alright, I'm back, and it's time to try some experimentation with stuff, namely try some experimentation with how the save file and saving stuff in general for this game is going to work. Where is it? There it is. Because this game has this weird system where it like autosaves, but it doesn't have profiles or save files or anything like that, so basically it has one save capability.
Castlevania birds, they're my darkest nightmare.
And I basically have to perform some dark wizardry stuff to no, not that. This. Just to be able to reset that, because I don't even think it has an erase all data option. I just have to find the data myself, and there we go. And nip it in the bud, and secretly salvage it in an undisclosed location. So I might want it back later, but here we go. Doled. Alright, time for some video games, which come from the world's premier video game creating nation, Spain. So I hope you like the story of Castlevania, because this game doesn't really like that. Only too much up in the screen. Well, I don't know about you guys. I don't think I see any masks on the screen, actually, on the actual monitor that I have. I think my TV is brighter than the actual monitor. No, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that in the middle. Also, yeah, it's not really evident just from the start of this, but basically, you remember all that convoluted storyline that Castlevania had. Many different stories, twists, and characters in the timeline, and all of it being very loosely connected, but being actually connected well. They threw all that out the window for this one, as you will soon come to find out. Alright. Full screen. There's a windowed mode. I did not know that. Well, I have it on full screen now. It's probably alright. I'm guessing it looks alright. I can confirm this by actually playing the stream. Yeah, it looks alright. No, that's music player. This in the middle, and start that up again. Well, check it out, I got my high graphics, clearly. This means that streaming this as is will yeah, high vibration. What do you think? I have some kind of weakling. I can play in Portuguese Brasileiro if I so desire, or I can play in Deutsch. Ich kann spielen. I can play in Italiano, but no. I'm actually surprised that they don't have Spanish higher up on that, since I'm pretty sure, as I said, the developers for this are actually Spanish. Oh, wait a minute. I changed it to windowed mode. Hang on. Let me change it back. There we go. Yeah, keep the changes. Mercury's team are Spanish people. Alright, let's start a new game, I guess. But after I check the extras, that is. Oh yes, all this. I need all of this information, don't you know? Right now.
A storm is coming. Mankind faces ruin and despair. The world is changing, yet hope remains in the hearts of the people. We go about our daily lives never knowing the forces that can change our destinies forever. We are oblivious, ignorant like sheep to the slaughter.
We are imbeciles.
This night, in the year of our Lord 1047, marks the beginning of our journey together. A journey into darkness, into madness. I watch him from the shadows. Is he the one? He has come far already, but he will be tested, tested to the very limits of human endurance and beyond. This night he rides looking for the old gods, armed with an amulet that has led him here. Tonight he will begin his journey into oblivion.
I wish I knew more Patrick Stewart characters so I could make a joke about him, but I don't. But yes, in this game we have Patrick Stewart narrating the intro to each chapter.
Supremacy is eternal, inevitable.
That's how you know it's serious shit.
Victory is the natural objective of every creature on this world. They will kill and die for their kind to dominate.
Well,
Some call this eternal struggle equilibrium, the balance between light and darkness.
I think that might be debatable depending on what biologists you talk to, but regardless. Have some rain.
These are dark times, times without hope. Men of faith claim that this is a test from God to strengthen our spirit. Perhaps this is true, or perhaps it is simply a pious lie.
Builds character.
It is true. Darkness has come to engulf once proud humanity, and we are witnessing the end of mankind.
Pictures the end of mankind. You know, the funny part is, I think the other 3D Castlevanias were a lot more Dark Souls-like than this one is. This one is basically God of War, as I might have mentioned. Maybe with a bit of Devil May Cry / Bayonetta thrown in. Alright. Hey, did you know you can press X for direct attacks and Y for area attacks and A to jump? Such as against these things. It's super effective. You can interact with anything that glows, just like in real life. Also get these staggers before they vanish, and then you can use them to... See, it's totally Castlevania with the sub-weapons and all that. Except not really. Oh wow, that actually does more damage than that would. Hey, I'm just gonna flick my wrist in your general direction and you're gonna explode into gore. The video game. Okay, I actually don't remember how you block. Oh, you can grab the enemy with RT and then you do the quick time event to insta-kill them, I guess. Okay, seriously, how do you block with L? Is it with, or can I just not block yet? I guess not. Get some experience points. sure there should be a way to like dodge as well. Only a... oh, right. Okay, apparently B is to throw the sub-weapons. I had already forgotten that, even though the game just told me that. Is it to buy new combat moves and abilities? Yes. Use your red orbs to buy new moves. We have these, right? Yeah. We can buy the guillotine for 25 experience. I guess I'm gonna do that. It's probably what the game, you know, meant for me to do, since everything else is considerably more expensive, and it's the only thing I could have afforded at that point. Right. It's not really that helpful considering the raw damage we can do without even using that, but alright. Oh boy. Well, be assured that the controller is shaking considerably every so often. So now we get a big doggo coming through. Oh, and we got more QuickTime events, so that's exciting. Oh, LT, that's how you block. Okay. Couldn't actually have done that before I, you know... This attack is unblockable. Oh. So it's LT while standing still to block, and then... oh. And then LT while holding a direction to dodge. And I don't know, I feel like every game I've ever played that has controls similar to these has different controls, or... well, not controls, I mean like a moveset. Like, I'm fairly certain that this isn't how this worked in God of War, even though this is the same basic, you know, move set that you do in that game too. Yeah, check it out, we're gonna pick this stuff up with RT, and there you go. Little doggo was kind enough to jump straight into our trap.
Who are you?
I am Gabriel. I have traveled here seeking the Guardian of the Lake.
You are from the Order? They sent you?
How do I find him?
He will find you. In the forest.
Alrighty then. Oh, don't worry, I fully intend to get the Blades of Chaos. I just have to beat a few bosses first. Which, you know, if there's one thing I will say about this game, there we go, we complete this level. It has more bosses than God of War did, which I don't know if you could even say that that game had more than like 2 bosses, because there's only 2 bosses I remember off the top of my head, and they were the Hydra at the very start of the game and then the final boss. And hey, look, it's actually episodic. You can actually travel between stages instead of it being kind of open world like God of War was.
I follow him into the old forest, watching him from afar. He is
Well, not
strong.
really open world, but like
The one God comes to drive out the many.
streamlined, I guess.
In this place, God's influence is thin and threadbare. The old gods still hold sway here. Few venture this far into the wood. He is disturbed by dreams, dreams that gnaw at his very soul. He will rest for the night, but rest will not come easy. The battle has left him weakened, but he knows the dream will return, and though he fears nothing on this earth, yet his nightmares sap the strength within him and leave a cold grip on his heart. Tomorrow he will use the old hunting path. Long has it been in disuse, but for now, he dreams.
But then he wakes up because he needs to get to work.
What motivates a man to confront the challenges that most of us would run from?
Join us as we investigate.
Exposing him to defeat and death.
I don't know.
The answer is love. A force so powerful that all reason becomes blind to it. Blind to all things, even the truth. Loss of love can make a man desperate. Desperate enough to do anything to bury the truth, to hide from its pain.
Yeah. Well, that was very well executed exposition, I think you'll agree. Just like this.
The guardian of the lake. I will take you to him, but we must be quick. Climb onto my back. Hurry!
Alright. I don't see why not. Alright, good night, Lizardman, and let's learn about how to ride the horse. We can attack the wargs or the lycanthrope riders. We can aim the attacks left or right with the stick. And you can dodge with L, apparently. So you can attack either the wargs or the riders, it looks like. I don't believe I can afford anything else with 70 experience. No, I can't. You unlocked the main character entry, by the way. It's Marie. The woman with lots of hair and lots of thorny vines surrounding her. The youngest daughter of a rich merchant family was always attracted by the courageous nature of the Brotherhood of Light. To help the monks, she became acquainted with the boy that would later become her husband, an orphan by the name of Gabriel. The couple was married. Marie provided a good counterpoint to Gabriel's dark moods. Oh boy. The gathering storm within him. Now Marie has been tragically murdered and Gabriel seeks revenge, so there's your backstory, I guess. You can read about Gabriel too. Was found abandoned at the door of one of the Brotherhood of Light convents. It is not known who his original parents were. Some suspect that he was the unwanted bastard of a local wealthy landowner, most likely from the Kronkvist family, though this has never been proved. Very sure that should be proven, but alright. Order named the boy after the blessed Archangel Gabriel, and raised him as one of its own. Took the surname of Belmont from his love of the mountains and the high places of the world. Alright. Prone to dark moods and occasional ambivalence, Gabriel was deeply affected by the death of his childhood sweetheart Marie. Alright. Burning desire for revenge, even though it's not clear revenge against what right now. Oh boy. Alright, I guess we're jumping onto the warg now. I'm glad that the running of all of these animals is synchronized. It's very convenient. Oops. Oh well, here we are. Better block and sync with an enemy attack, that's actually necessary. Oh yeah, check out this guy, by the way. We can... Well, we should be able to do something, but... we kind of stopped from doing so by this tutorial here. Right, how about now? There we go. We check it out, we get another tutorial. Direct counter-strike. Right after doing a synchronized block, which... is a thing that we do, but we also get a life gem from checking that guy's dead body. And that's a good thing, because we're gonna need as many of those as we can find, because you might notice that kinda looks like our health bar over at the top of the screen there. It's not quite as lively as it could be. Can work to change that by collecting these life gems. Even though I'm pretty sure the game doesn't want you to be aware of that at this point, so... so I'll just spam the X thing. So that I don't have to... yeah, there we go. Apparently taking care of the... or trying to attack the Lycan Riders separately doesn't even change anything. You can just kill them instantly when I trigger this. And now here we are. Oh boy, we got another work to fight. It feels really weird trying to... use the same button for dodging and blocking. That I'm going to die very soon, so it seems. Unless I can use this thing. There we go. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna have to trigger something special to kill this dude, or does he just die? Okay, I guess he just dies. That works. Let's see how much longer we can keep this whimsical horse riding sequence for. I'm guessing not very.
Can travel no further. You will find what you seek ahead.
Did you know that wargs are apparently very incompetent? Right, in the next episode of Lord of the Rings. Maybe we will travel to the end of Mirkwood. Alright, well, I'm glad we found that magic gem at least. Lesser Lycanthrope, 15 of them really. And 4 works that were just in the riding sequence, and then the big guy that we have to fight on foot. Okay, maybe now we can actually buy something from here. I can buy the spinning chain. don't know if that's going to be very helpful though. Okay, I'm fairly certain that I want this one before any of the others, so I'm just gonna go ahead and wait until I can afford that one. Alright, have a good dinner, default. Dagger wave. I don't think I'm gonna get that either, at least not as a priority thing that I'm wanting to get. Alright. Nope, let's continue the quest. Into the dead bog we go.
Alone again, with only his thoughts as company, he continues on his journey to find the one he seeks. Who or what was that strange creature? There is a power here that few know, a power that could have some influence on events. Perhaps the Guardian of the Lake is aware of him now and offers aid in his quest. There is just the small matter of the dead bog to overcome, a place that has claimed the lives of many of the Brotherhood. The smell of death is strong here, and danger lies around every corner, but nothing will stop him. Nothing will stand in his way.
Who was that strange creature? That horse with apparently telepathy and glowing blue stuff on his head, right? I actually did not remember this stage coming this early on in the game, but let's examine the fallen knight's corpse and see what we can find here. We find a second life gem. With 5 of them we can increase our health capacity, so sure would want to find as many of them as possible. There's something in the water, something terrible. I've seen men dragged under, never to return. These creatures can only be seen as ripples or bubbles in the surface. One must wait for these ripples and bubbles to disappear before progressing through the bog. Can't walk around them because noxious fumes lay either side of the safe path. At least I will be die fighting, not swallowed by any of those mire fiends, right, so... Here we have some equipment, don't we? What do we have here? We have the combat crossbody. Combat cross is a heavy iron crucifix which hides a retractable chain inside. It's rumored to have been forged from the nails used to crucify martyrs. Alright then. And the iron chain. One of its first wielders, a Brotherhood artisan by the name of Rinaldo Gandolfi, was responsible for the creation of the now iconic chain, so yes, I might have mentioned this is not part of the old Castlevania continuity, but it does reuse some terms from that. One of those terms is Rinaldo Gandolfi, who in the original continuity was the guy who helped Leon Belmont make the vampire killer in Lament of Innocence by killing his girlfriend with it. But in this version of events is apparently an old craftsman who made a bunch of weapons, including the not blades of chaos here. Whip, that's not really a whip. It's apparently just a chain that extends from an iron cross. Alright. So what could we possibly find in this mire? Could it be a firebomb? Well, multiple firebombs, apparently. Made by these goblins, who will apparently just keep trying to throw them at us, even though... Oh, and a frog. Frog just kind of wandering around on the ground there. Guess we're not gonna bother with the frog, though. Kind of wondering if it's even possible to kill the frog. actually not be completely unfitting, since frogs were a fairly obnoxious enemy in some of the old Castlevania platformers like 4 and Rondo. And they were in a couple of the Metroidvanias too. Oh boy. Kinda makes you wonder why they apparently set up camp that close to the mysterious bog here, with the ripples and the bubbles. Where apparently the naiads live. Large part of the danger in the swamps lies in the hands of the creatures known as naiads. They're usually passive, lying inconspicuously on riverbeds and in mud damp places. When they attack, their unfortunate victims usually mistake their limbs for branches and are soon drowned and eaten. These once beautiful creatures were worshipped and sacrifices were made to them, but they are now forgotten by humans and have become evil predators. So it seems there's also goblins. They're small and their difficulty is slow, so it seems. They can be aggressive, but they usually prefer to keep far from men and their dwellings. They're a species on the verge of extinction, and before too long will pass into history and then myth. I can tell you this as an authority on the subject, alright. So to cross the bog here we do need to... Well, we need to stick to the dark parts of the path, because the parts that aren't dark are actually noxious, poisonous junk. So we need to time it so that the evil ripples of death don't appear right as we're trying to pass through. And apparently there's something behind us that might be following us, but let's see, there's actually a split path here too. We could have gone right or left there. And we went right. Pretty sure I kind of want to explore the options we have here. I like that you can jump to skip a little bit of the mire path and go a little faster that way. Right, I'm wondering what other kind of stuff I can find here, like the Fallen Knight's corpse, which... Okay, there's another life gem, so there's that at least, if nothing else. And then there's a bunch of dudes who try and rush you out of nowhere. I'm not entirely certain where those goblins came from, to be precise, to be honest, to be concise and truthful. But I guess I'm gonna keep going down this path and pretty much not stop doing that until I... Okay, I run into a place like this. Oh boy. Oh boy. Where I can, you know, find a place that looks like it leads back to where... to the other path that I might have skipped before, because there's probably something along it that I want to look at, like that right there. Hang on. Is it even possible to get there through here? Okay, I think it is. It's actually kind of hard to tell which parts of the path are the safe parts and which parts are the one that will hit you with poison gas if you run into them. Okay, time to examine the Fallen Knight's corpse. What? Is this another life gem? Oh boy, it is. We only need one more to upgrade our health. It's actually going pretty quickly now. I might as well backtrack here real quick, even though I don't think it's gonna go much further than the split in the path we saw before. There's nothing over here. be more goblins though. Oh yeah, here they were. A Rio. Well, apparently these little tents can hold a lot more of them than I thought. Than would appear at first glance. Right, let's run against the camera. Okay, so there's a little health font here. Guess that's a good thing to keep in mind. And I'm pretty sure this is right where the path splits, so I don't think I'm going to keep going any further in that direction. Not really any point doing that. I will, however, come over here real quick, see if there's anything different here. Well, there's two clustered naiads there, just right next to each other. I do want to take this right path, so let's see if it, loops back around. To one of the other paths that I saw before and that I avoided on purpose. Maybe. Actually, don't remember. So if I jump over the ripple that's active, okay. Apparently it doesn't actually do anything unless I actually touch it, which I appreciate. And actually been getting pretty lucky about not actually activating any of these ripple creatures yet. But at the very least there is a way to, it doesn't mean instant death if you do activate them. That much I can tell you. I don't know if I'm gonna be able or gonna need to show off what happens if you do get grabbed by them, but I think ideally that should not be the case. Guessing that one, the one that's closest to me right now, is like an eternal one that never stops being active. Just a hunch there. Boy, might have to. Yep, there we go. So that's what happens when you get grabbed. At the very least, there's, as you can see, it's an instant death. However, I'm pretty sure that you can die if you spend too long in the mire without getting back to solid ground, because you do slowly sink. And I'm pretty sure that if you sink all the way, you die. But for now, let's just try and avoid cheap strikes such as that one. Wait, what? Okay, apparently he threw a bomb even though kinda looked like he was just waving his arms in front of his face. Didn't really see when the bomb came into it. Doesn't look like I'll be able to backtrack there, so guess what it's time for me to do. It's time for me to go back over there again. Back through this path again so that I can go to the other path. The one that's at the left end of this marsh excursion. So that I can find out what's there first of all. Which I probably should have done before I decided to come here. Alright. There we go. Jumped over those. But I'm probably gonna get grabbed by one of these, yep. Alright, come on, we're almost there now. nothing can go wrong. So what is down this way, I guess, what I'm trying to find out right now. And it's the reason I came all the way back over here. Because I need to investigate, I guess. Is it something visible, or is it just an alternative way to get to where I'm supposed to be going? Because either is fine with me at this point, I guess. Oh boy. It's a pretty long distance from where I started off to where I need to get to. But hope I can make it in time. Right there's the guy there. You're sinking in the mud. Get out before it's too late. I managed to do it. What do you know? So what do we got here? Got a fallen guy's corpse. With a scroll, something is pushing the goblin tribes further and further towards our local towns and villages. I suspect the cause is a dark spell that we have been sent to investigate. Something incredibly evil is taking over the land, and I am concerned about what lies ahead for me and my fellow brothers, so the goblins are revolting, apparently. Alright, hang on, let me take a quick look over here. Is there anything in this direction beyond... What do you call it? Beyond this health font? Apparently not, because I can't keep moving anymore in that direction, so... Don't really need to use the health font right now, but I guess I will, just for the sake of not wasting it. Oh boy. I wonder if we got hosted, I don't know. I think if we had, right, but I've got a notification for that. Come on, can I, like, nestle between these two things? Yeah, I can. There we go. Alright, I guess that's a point of no return. Rip the goblin to get his grenade. What do you mean? Alright, I can grip a goblin, but... oh. I'm guessing we're gonna need to use one of these grenades. Or something if the game is, yeah, telling me that I need to do it specifically. That's a tendency that this game has sometimes, right, so... Apparently 2 grenades are all that was needed to topple that tree. Something tells me that there might actually be like an infinite goblin spawn here, since... guessing that there's no way to get past that tree, besides using the grenades, right? What do we got here? Got another scroll. There's a mausoleum here that has lain undisturbed for many years. Cardinal Volpe informs me that the legendary artisan Rinaldo Gandolfi constructed a powerful relic there during his sojourn, which will aid the one that wields a combat cross. Fool Serent, well, I don't know. What reason have we to doubt any of this? Would it be the same doubt that stirs up within us when we see that sometimes the ripple effects don't quite render properly? They get kind of cut off abruptly. So, what's been following me this whole time? I guess I'm not gonna find out yet. Okay, there's something over here, but... no, there isn't, never mind. It looked like there was. But I guess I was mistaken. I see that the splits in the path are not done yet. What's beyond the right path? Apparently the answer's a few more gobbles. And health font, and I guess that's it. 590 experience now. It is still not 800 experience, which is how much I need for the strong normal hit combo, which is what I want. So I'm not gonna be spending that yet. I guess it's just a health font. This is the place we're actually supposed to go, I'm pretty sure. Well, here's a door, but my door's blocked. Or we're just not gonna try it, so instead we find these conveniently placed ledges on the outside of this building. Could that be the thing that's been following us? Well, I don't know, but it's time to check this out.
Forgive me, brother, but my need is far greater than yours.
You know, I can tell you this, even though my belief in the supernatural is kind of a given right now. Maybe you have other dead needs that I don't know anything about, but I'm gonna say that anyway. Charge my cross with static electricity, I guess. And give it the hook tip. It's also built by the renowned artisan Rinaldo Gandolfi. It can be used to grip objects and enemies from a distance, giving the combat cross the properties of a grappling hook. Also allows the wielder to climb, rappel, and swing around the environment when combined with combat cross, such as I'm pretty sure is going to be demonstrated momentarily. We can now grip these shining grip points. It's just like the grapple beam. So we stand near these things and grip it like so. We can also press X or Y to break through weak surfaces, such as this window. That was apparently framed in stone, but it was still big enough that we can just swing through it. And oh boy. We have an unlocked bestiary entry of this guy who can make shockwaves. It's a swamp troll. A rare subspecies of the larger cave troll, similar in appearance to their dryland cousins. The thick fur has been replaced with a slimy coating similar to wet mold. Apparently they're cunning. And this guy has a separate health meter, which kind of indicates it's kind of like a mini-boss pretty much. And even though its attacks are quite telegraphed, I'm still not doing good at all at avoiding them. I wonder if I can block them. Yeah, I can. Oh yeah, gotta watch out for the shockwaves that he makes. And be sure to not fail the QuickTime event when that happens. Oh, is that an unavoidable thing? Probably was. Or unblockable, rather. Unblockable, but yes, avoidable. That's pretty much the opposite of what I meant, or what I said. I meant the opposite of what I said. Alright, it's time to finish him off with RT, I guess. RT and the resulting QuickTime events. And there we are. That's how you kill a troll, I suppose. And how you find stuff like this. The Brotherhood Arc. Which has this inside. dagger upgrade. We can now carry 5 more of these. Isn't that nice? And we cut off the victory fanfare by opening up the menu. Silver daggers. Bones to be thrown with extraordinary precision. Even though I'm pretty sure we had this before. They are good against lycanthropes, so hey, the fanfare resumed. Daggers are exceptionally strong against minions of the lycanthrope Dark Lord, which I don't think we're supposed to know about yet either, but the game's gonna mention that anyway. So let's grip so that we can get out of here. Now what if I want to walk back here in this direction? Well, it's just a dead end. I don't control the camera at all, by the way. You don't get to do that in this game. It's pretty much just angles that change depending on where you walk, and that at least they change kind of dynamically. It's like if I were to compare it to another game, I guess it would be like, I don't know, Resident Evil Code Veronica. It's not quite as stiff as those cameras, but you know, they're pretty much completely out of your control, and they always show things from a specific angle, so there's that. So before this level can end, I guess. Some of these levels are pretty long. I don't think like any of the earlier ones is supposed to be that long. Move over the edge and Gabriel will hang on. And I guess we must. Alright. Can drop down to the ledge below, but we will only keep doing that until we... or for as long as we... to move away now from what? Okay. For as long as there's actual stuff below. So let's see, well, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a dead dude on the platform that's directly below this one. So let's go see if we can get to that. Okay, here we go, the service. And find the 5th life gem. Alright, already we get our first health upgrade. Wasn't expecting that to come as early as the 3rd stage, I'll tell you what, but I'll take that. Health upgrades are actually quite, you know... I think they're good in any game, but in this one particularly, since this game can get pretty unforgiving later on. I'll say that much. Right, that's how we get back over here. I guess we couldn't have done that from the... well, I don't know. What I'm trying to say is I assume that the route I just took is like the only sensible one, but I don't know if it's the only possible one. Okay, now the question is, am I supposed to be coming this way or what? Because I'm pretty sure I have to go the other way. I have to... go to the right. Oh, hang on. Oh, okay. It's not really that evident that you can do that, but there we go. Up the wall. And probably to the actual end now. Yep. Got all 4 magic gems in this stage, which I was not really expecting to do, since as you can tell, you know, the magic gems are optional, they are hidden. You have to kind of go out of your way to explore. So I wasn't really sure if I was going to be able to get all of them in my first run through of the stage, but I guess I did. Alright, and now I can finally get this move, the direct heavy combo. Which I think is good for guard break, which, you know, some enemies guard, so it's one of the first things I want to get in the game. And so I have. I upgraded to direct heavy combo upgrade to make it longer, which I probably will aim for next, I guess. I mean, what else do I need? Flying kick. I guess I could go for this, but I don't know that it will really be that useful, much like the spinning chain. Alright, so let's continue. Continue into Pan's temple.
The stench of the bog fades into memory, and a land of great beauty lies before him, a paradise where nature lives in harmony with all living creatures. Indeed, a refuge for those who wish it. He is close now, close to the old gods and the old ways. Long forgotten by men, this kingdom was once revered by all. Yet now only a small part remains. Soon even this will disappear. The amulet senses its master. Its journey is almost over. He will need all his strength now, all his wits. If he is to succeed here, if he is to convince the old god to help him.
Help him with what? The game's not being terribly clear about yet either, but... yeah, that's what we're here for, I suppose. Right, let's begin this part. Magical amulet, which, you know, we don't really know anything about, except the fact that we have it. It glows mysteriously, so let's examine the weird runes. Perhaps we can light all of them. So yeah, we have two. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some stuff in this part of in this stage that we're not gonna be able to do anything about at this point, because guess what? There's some stuff that you cannot get on your first run through of some of the stages. You have to backtrack later on when you have some new abilities. I think the game at least points this out so you don't like spend a lot of time like fretting over it when you can't actually do anything. But still, I don't know. Well, for now, let's examine this corpse. Let's see what we got here. It's a scroll. The ravaged corpses of my brothers lie scattered everywhere. I feel guilty looting the bodies of my comrades, but I must find more life gems or I am lost too. You know, there's a life gem nearby. I can sense it, but I just need to rest for a moment. Well... I guess a moment is a relative term. You know that old joke where there's like well, there's like a bunch of different versions of the joke, but there's like the one that I know is there's a Greek guy talking to Zeus, and he's like, "Hey Zeus, is it true that to you 10,000 years and a moment are the same?" And Zeus is like, "Yes, my son." And then the guy says, "Zeus, is it true that to you 10,000 gold coins is the same as one copper coin?" And Zeus is like, "Yes, my son." And then the guy says, "Hey Zeus, can I have one copper coin?" And Zeus says, "Yes, my son, just wait a second." Or a moment, whichever it was. It's all about perspective, you see, my darling Martha. I fear that I am not going to make it back. Look after yourself and our beloved daughter. It'll always be in my heart to know that one day we will be together again. Your loving husband, Victor. Okay. Victor and Martha. I don't know if that's supposed to be a reference to anything. The name Victor... I don't know if it's supposed to be a reference to anything in this particular context, but it will come up again in Lords of Shadow 2 with a much more different connotation. Or a much more specific connotation, I guess. But I don't think that's what they were going for here. And what do we got here? We got one last... well, maybe not one last rune, since there's space for one more in our little collection thing there. I should probably move this. Hang on, let me see if I can... I can never tell, like, what a good place for this thing is. The chat. Like, there's always some kind of thing to get blocked. And I cannot reach this Brotherhood arc. Come back later once your skills have improved. You're too much of a noob to do anything about it right now. I feel like there's something else I missed in this stage, but it's really short, as you might imagine. At least certainly compared to the other one. But I'm not gonna fret too much over it, since I'm pretty sure, you know, there's not anything... Well, there might be something we can do about it, but we're gonna have to come back here anyway if I want 100%, so... Let's ignore the nakedness of this fairy and try and change the symbols to match the ones that, or the other that, the ones on my little rune holder there on the side have. We can just figure the last one through brute force, since it's the only one that's missing. And that's how we do it. Isn't that ingenious? Now we can climb up Raphael the Raven's tree. And open up the entrance to Mount Lava Lava. But not before getting some actual exposition, I think. Well, maybe not actual exposition, but additional pseudo-exposition. I don't even know what to call it at this point, because it's like they're showing what's happening, but they're being very cryptic about it at the same time. Okay, at least the game looks really pretty.
The Brotherhood needs your help. I need your help.
I know who you are, Gabriel. I am the guardian of the Lake of Oblivion, where the living can communicate with the dead. Tell me, warrior, are you aware of what is happening in the world?
Do you follow news outlets?
We have been deserted by God. Creatures from the void come to claim the souls of man, to wipe mankind from the face of the earth.
Yep, that sounds like what you would hear in those news outlets, to be quite honest.
What do they think?
That God has not abandoned us. They believe that a powerful spell has been unleashed by someone or something. A spell that has isolated our world from the heavens, cutting us off from God, and allowing evil to flourish unchecked.
Why have the Brotherhood of Light sent you to the Lake of Oblivion?
They have dreamt that a message waits for me at this lake. A message that holds a clue to our salvation. I was instructed to seek you out, in the hope that you may show me the path.
The elders believe that these dreams are the last message from the heavens, and that you should know something that we are unaware of. Is that it?
Yes. My wife, Marie, was murdered not 2 days ago by the evil that roams these lands. Her soul and those of the recently departed are trapped here and cannot find peace.
And that is why they sent you to the Lake of Oblivion, because they believe that she is waiting for you here to deliver a message to you.
Yes. Will you help me?
Only the most deserving of the living are worthy of speaking to the dead. Are you worthy, Gabriel?
Well, I don't know. Maybe with pixie dust. Maybe with some fairly heavy-handed metaphorical symbolism here. I can find about the scroll and read it in her travel book. To reach Marie before she dies, you must find a path to follow, try to overcome your sorrow, and you may avoid her demise. There's only one direction in which to turn the 3 wheels, and their shine will reveal the hidden path of self-redemption. I don't know about the metric of that poem, but alright. I should know because I have been stuck doing something terrible today, namely trying to translate some poems. It is not a fun time, let me tell you, but I have to do it. But anyway. I recall there's probably Probably. I do recall there being a pretty simple solution to this. Hang on. Okay. So if you move the outermost ring, that moves all three of these. Oops. Need to realize what direction I'm moving these things in. Right, so if I move the ring clockwise, that moves it in the opposite direction. Right, so okay, so the middle ring moves all of them. Probably gonna have to reset at this point, honestly. Right, so if we're able to turn this twice, we should be able to do it, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it in time. That's it, right? Okay, I guess you stopped the exact number of turns required to fail. That's unfortunate. Thought that would actually be possible enough, but I guess not. Alright, come on. Alright, so this moves all three of them. This only moves the inner two, and this only moves the outer two. So if I move this clockwise, it should get okay, and I'm pretty sure that the rings that aren't the selected one move in the opposite direction from the one you do select. So if I turn this clockwise twice, if I turn this one clockwise twice, the platform will be on the left side. And I'm pretty sure the same will be true of the inner one. So no, don't really accomplish anything. And then if I move the inner ring clockwise once, the platform for that one would be on the correct side, but then one for the middle ring would be hang on, let me try this. That in position, and that's also in position. Now the problem is the middle one. And this could be good if not for the fact that those two move in opposite directions. Right, hang on, let me try something. I move this that way, and I move this that way, and now I move that one like that, and I move the other one like this. I move it like that. And I move it like this, and there we go. I should be not dead now. Also solved, plus 200 experience. That fanfare is really quiet though. And as you might have seen from the scroll, you can actually pay a certain amount of experience to get a solution. But who the fuck would do that? Well, isn't this a nice outcome at least? See, everything's fine. Everything turned out just fine. Oh man, that anti-aliasing.
Tell me.
Only that you have passed the test. You appear worthy of entering the Lake of Oblivion. Make sure you have your daggers with you. One never knows when need may arise.
Alrighty then. My daggers, which do absurd amounts of damage for ranged weapons, but are also very limited in supply. So, something that I never quite got clear is... I don't know if the Lake of Oblivion is the thing we just found, or the hole in the ground where the water was rushing into that we just saw, or if it's the next place that we'll be going to. I guess it's the next place that we'll be going to, because it's called Oblivion Lake. So let's see. As you might have noticed here, we're at the end of this little sequence. Wonder what that could mean.
The test.
Well, we'll find out very soon.
I see the doubt in his eyes as he heads towards the lake. So Pan is helping him now. That's good. Perhaps it bodes well. I wonder if he knows what awaits him here, in this place where the dead can contact the living. It is cold now. A chill wind blows through his heart. I can see it, feel it. He will need help if he is to succeed. He must not fail. He will not fail. Not now. Not yet. Not if I have anything to do with it.
Not if I have anything to do with it. Could that mean that Patrick Stewart is going to interfere in the story somehow? Oh my goodness. Have unlocked a main character entry. Could it be the entry for Pan? Here is quite the great god. Mystical spirit that inhabits untamed woodlands, protecting them from harm. Different forms, often an eel, a deer, a boar, or even a horse, as well as many others. Some portray him as an evil satyr, while others tell the story of a benevolent and powerful demigod, servant of Mother Nature herself. The old spirits depart, and soon Pan must choose his own fate. But not before having some kiddies, if the work of Arthur Machen is any indication, but we also haven't checked the entry for the warg. Wolf-like beasts. They appeared soon after the coming of the lycanthrope Dark Lord. Which, again, we're not really supposed to know about yet, but it's gonna get mentioned in these little entries, I guess. Wargs are ferocious creatures, and they are also feral to where they can... Well, they're basically all kind of like bear wolves and creatures as we've seen. Some of them are blessed by the Dark Lord himself, which gives them new powers such as improved strength and wound regeneration. How that blessing works, I have no idea. The game doesn't tell you either, I don't think. These powers are heightened by a full moon, however, apparently that's got something to do with it. Okay, I have a very, very vague idea of what that might mean now. The lesser lycanthropes, by the way, are creatures. They were humans. They have been poisoned with an infectious disease known as the werewolf influenza, which is transmitted in most cases by the bite of another lycanthrope. If you are bitten by a lycan, better to let it know. Transformation process can be completed in only a few minutes. Alright, so just accept death, I guess. So there's some werewolf stuff going on, but for now, let's not concern ourselves with that, because we're here at the giant ice lake. It's in the middle of the, plainly not icy jungle, but or forest, but We're not gonna fret over that detail. So we get another PS2 game that you have to play right now. We've been playing God of War, but now we're gonna play something else. We're gonna play a game I like to call one of the games that's actually really hard to emulate properly, as I've come to learn, by the way. You might have heard of it. It's a little game called Shadow of the Colossus. It's a pretty interesting experience. And now we get to see all of it. You know, I say that as a joke, but I actually very vaguely remember some Shadow of the Colossus-like bits in God of War. But from what I've seen, those are mostly like the sequels to God of War, not so much in the first one. But hey, we can lock the bestiary entry for the Ice Titan. Buried below the surface. Among them, a titan of war. Before Rome, before ancient Greece, this great empire possessed technology that surpassed all others. The necromantic wars obliterated this once thriving civilization. When the dark spell that isolated the heavens from our earthly plane was cast, the souls for the dead were drawn to this place and gave new energy to the magic runes. Oh boy. That's our justification here. So we have to climb up on Big Boy here. And try not to get caught up in the whole not being on the ground thing when... or yes, being on the ground thing when he slams his fist down. Like that. We need to search and destroy the runes to destroy the Titan. We also need to hold RT to grip when he shakes like that, or else we're not going to be able to stay on. At least he's not apparently capable of releasing his arm from the ice, all that great. Oh, there's a rune right here, how do you know? But before we continue to smash it, let's, you know, not get thrown off, like, it's definitely a possibility right now. And there we go. Oh boy. Also, it's not really pointed out as readily as some of the other stuff, but basically you're supposed to press RT whenever you see a glowy thing so that you can grapple onto it. Right, another rune destruction coming right up, I guess. Oh boy. And then we get grabbed by the other hand. I actually forgot. I didn't forget that that happens, but I forget exactly when it would happen. And now we have to search for or wait for a new opportunity to climb on up again. There we go. At least we don't have to climb up the arm again. But we do have to dodge that, which I failed to do that time. Oh boy. Not sure if I got hurt or not. Wouldn't be surprised if I did.
the spirit of someone you know?
Yes. It was my wife.
Forgive me. I couldn't help but overhear what she told you. It sounds like the spirits who founded our order are trying to tell us something very important through her.
What do you mean?
Only that the founders of the order seem to be using the dead to communicate with us. The prophecy has been secret for many centuries. It is known only to a select few. There is no way she could have known of it unless they managed to tell her somehow. Praise be to God.
What prophecy?
It is written that a pure-hearted warrior will claim the power of the Lords of Shadow as his own, and use it in order to overcome all evil. It is said this warrior will become God's vassal on earth, supremely powerful. He could do anything. The founding spirits have not abandoned us, Gabriel. Thanks to your Marie, we now know there is some hope. We have to enter the lands of the Dark Lords, you and I. We must reclaim the powers they hold and unite the heavens with this world once more. And don't you see, Gabriel? You can bring her back.
What you say is true. Then we need to work quickly and in secret. The Lords of Shadow must not suspect we're on their trail, or they will turn all of their attention towards us. We should take different routes, you and I. I will head for the land of the Lycans. You leave for the territory of the vampires and prepare the way. Then we must go on to the Lord of the Necromancers together. His realm lies furthest. Our enemy must suspect nothing.
Take this. It will allow you to absorb spiritual energy and will help cure your wounds. Good luck, my friend. May we be granted victory.
Thank you, brother. You have given me renewed hope.
Oh boy. Alright, with this newly defined purpose, we set out across Middle-earth once again. So yeah, in order to undo this bizarre spell going on, we have to kill the Lords of Shadow. I don't know how much we're supposed to know about them right now, but yes, it's very Hollywood. So the Lords of Shadow are... I don't know how seriously I can say this, but basically what we have in this game instead of Dracula, but the Lords of Shadow are basically big ol' monster bosses that are kinda related to the monsters from the old Castlevania games. So there are 3 Lords of Shadow. I guess I'm gonna wait until the next lore thing shows up, because the game might actually want to explain it. I don't know. But we got the Light Gem Medallion, which is another pretty important thing. And check it out, there's like 14 chapters, I think. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think there's 12 chapters, and then the last 2 are like DLC things. But since this is the Ultimate Edition, they are pre-packaged with the game, so... And as you can see, chapter 2 is quite a few subdivisions to it. It's actually one of the longest chapters in the game from what I remember, so let's get started with it. Probably gonna be going for another hour or so.
We part ways, he and I. My instincts tell me he is filled with hope, a hope that will drive him ever onwards. Good. Perhaps he is the one, a warrior of pure heart who can deliver us from all evil. Perhaps. I wonder what went through his mind when he saw her there, his beloved. Did he see his dreams, or did he see his future blown away like leaves on the wind? I spy him as he heads out towards the reaches of Pan's influence. A forest lies to the east that leads to the land of the lichens. The ruin of an ancient civilization is there, forgotten and decaying. Once a proud testament to man's ingenuity and vision, it has now been conquered by nature, as she claims all things for her own.
Right, so... I can read about Sobek here, who... His facial hair in that illustration is depicted quite as well as it is in the... or quite matching up with the actual model, but... Sobek is one of their longest-serving warriors. Despite his age, he can deploy mighty fighting skills. Simple longsword which he handles with great skill. He likes to wear the old-fashioned uniform of the Brotherhood of Light that was inherited from one of his ancestors, who was one of the founding members of the Order. So it seems. Right, so we're just thrust into the next part of the stuff. So, yeah, basically there's 3 Lords of Shadow. There's the Lord of the Lycans, the Lord of the Vampires, and the Lord of the Necromancers. The Lord of the Lycans is named Cornell. You might remember Cornell from Castlevania 64 and from Castlevania Judgment. However, this continuity's version of Cornell is a little bit different. But we'll see exactly what the deal is with all that when we get to Cornell, but that won't be for a little while yet. Right now, let's see. My comrade in arms has ventured onwards while I rest here a while. Give him my life gem in the hope that he may find provisions before nightfall. He's a good lad, strong and eager, yet he needs to learn patience. Well, we have a life gem on a corpse somewhere that we need to find. We know that much now. Then again, that's usually where they're found. Now what if we backtrack back here to behind the waterfall? What could we find? Oh, perhaps we actually have to... Oh, we need shadow magic to activate. We need the Blade of Olympus to activate that. The Chaos Blades, okay. So we're not gonna be messing around with that yet. Now for now, let us merely continue our journey through the inscrutable forests and see where that leads us. Leads us to fighting this lycanthropes again. And oh yeah, we have elemental orbs now that we have the blue magic, which I almost forgot about because it's pretty much the first opponent we have. We can click the left stick to absorb blue magic, or to absorb the orbs into the blue magic meter, rather. And later on, when we get red magic, we can click the red stick, or the right stick, to absorb them into the red magic meter, but while we have blue magic active, we can actually heal ourselves by fighting. But when we have any kind of magic active, we don't get more magic orbs from fighting, so probably best to switch that off if we don't need that, since it actually drains really quickly. Oh boy, we can also get light flash, which is an offensive thing, I guess, or no. Oh no, it is. Really don't think we're gonna be unlocking that many of these moves, since there's so many of them. But it's a good option to have them anyway. I think my current priority for stuff to unlock is still gonna be the upgraded version of the heavy hit combo, which I still haven't used, but I'm definitely gonna want to, since the unupgraded version of that combo, which I have right now, it's actually kind of underwhelming. So let's use our blue magic again to continue healing ourselves, I suppose. Okay. I'll probably use the daggers, which can one-shot these guys. And apparently they can drop daggers even if they are killed by daggers, so... It's kind of a what's the word I'm looking for? I want to end this term that I've just made up with investment, but... What do I put in the middle? Something that pays for itself, meaning an investment, but I guess an investment with instant returns? I don't know. See, this is what happens when I try to be clever and make up stuff like that on the fly. How about we get more goblins? Goblins which will probably die instantly from daggers. If I were to guess. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. You can grab the goblins and they drop bombs if you kill them that way. Okay, apparently they don't die instantly from... See, it does make sense. They don't die instantly from the daggers, since even though the wolves do, since the wolves are supposed to be particularly weak against them. We can also grab more daggers from bags on the ground like that. Which, it's kind of strange that the game did not like draw our attention to that in any way, since it usually does that. Even if it's for stuff that we've seen in the past, but... Well, I guess it's a good thing that I already knew what that was for. So what else is down here, because I don't really see anything more. Oh, there we go. I wonder if there was any point to coming down here, or if this is just going to be like a detail. Oh, we got another dead guy. Is this the guy that has a life gem, or no? He has a scroll. The world is in chaos and we will all die soon, trapped in limbo between heaven and earth. My fate is imminent, dear Lord, forgive me. Cardinal Volpe sends us all to our deaths, and for what? Oh boy. He and the elders should also be suffering for our sins. Nothing tells me that he won't agree with that, but when do they ever? Alright. So I want to see if I can backtrack a little bit to the point where I would have dropped off from the other ledge that I saw. Just to make sure that I didn't miss anything due to exploration and all that, you know. Well, here's a dead guy. And more goblins apparently. Okay, we got a white magic gem, which we need to collect in order to improve the limits of our magic, much like, you know, the life gems, except these are different colors. Alright, let me see. Okay, this is where I was before, yeah. Or this is where I was before I jumped, and apparently if I take the other path, which is what I'm gonna do now, that's where I end up. Just drop down here, there's no clear indication that we could have gotten back up before you jump, but after you jump there is. Which doesn't mean anything, but... Well, now that I know that from having been to the other side, it hardly matters. So now let's tilt this tree a little bit so that we can swing across and see what else we find. Well, apparently we've completely failed to realize what that is what we need to get to this part that we came from, technically. Since we're exploring in the wrong order and all that. Well, maybe not the wrong order, but like trying to come around a bunch of these different places which link together from paths that are clearly not supposed to be the first path we use to reach a certain location in some places. And well, alright, what does this dead guy have to offer? The focus scroll, okay. What is this? An ancient technique from the Brotherhood of Light. So we can extract, yeah. I thought we would have this by default after getting the magic thing, but I guess not. But now if we do... if we avoid damage and if we do perfect blocks, I forget what they're called, perfect guards I guess, then we can get elemental orbs without having to kill the enemies. And this guy's being very docile for a warg. And we can maintain our magic supplies, but it'll only keep coming as long as we... Switching on your magic interrupts focus. I actually forgot about that little detail, but I guess that makes sense. Apparently we can get it right back even after we... switch on magic for whatever reason. Well, I mean, for whatever reason, it's pretty obvious why you would want to switch on magic in this. Because you want to heal or you want to hit harder after you get the shadow magic, which I guess has what to do with that. Yeah. And there we go. Wow. I don't think I even got hit once during that. Which is more than I was expecting from me coming back to this game after however long it's been. Oh shit. Well, then that happened. And now I'm getting blown up. Even though I figured that these goblins would show up since, you know, the game simply says, hey, you should find a way to blow up the wall. Wink wink, nudge nudge, okay. Let's get some bombs the extortionist way, I guess, and there we go. Oh shit, I was trying to grab the bomb that's, you know... And they're supposed to drop after you kill them this way, and there you go. Can move on now to find where my Wolfie boys, and apparently one goblin guy that decided to follow us for some reason. That's nice. Oh, he dodged. But then he didn't dodge, okay. So I wonder if there's anything else around this mysterious tree stump hollow that is kind of smack in the middle of the area here. It's almost... oh yeah, here we go. There's a dead guy. Always a welcome sight. The Great Deku was one of the... oh my god. Once the largest and most gorgeous tree in the forest. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be a Zelda reference with, you know, the Great Deku tree. So tall that its canopy could be seen from many miles away. Some even believe that it was alive, that its magical power protected the forest from the attacks of dark creatures. There's a plague that remains alive beneath its dead stump, so... Yeah, you got some weird references like that every so often, because... These developers, man, I don't know. These developers who have never made a Castlevania game before, but all of a sudden now... They're making this not God of War game. I guess we're just gonna jump off like so. And then we hook onto a different thing so that we can jump into the hollow. And there we go. Did I miss any? Yeah, I missed the weapon upgrade. I don't know where it was, but that's okay. Time for me to upgrade my direct hit combo to be 8 moves or 9 moves long, not quite sure which one it is. Upgrade it even further to have one more hit. Oh shit, what was that? Did I just click off? Oh yeah, I did, okay. Just moving my headphone wire a little bit. I wasn't sure if I had goofed something with that, but no, apparently just lightly tapped the mouse. And that's what that did. It's really weird because you can still see like even if you click off the game, like the game stick icon in the taskbar still shows up as selected, so I don't know what the deal is there. Actually, speaking of that, give me just a moment before I continue here to check something real quick. Alrighty then. Okay, put it there, and there we go. Now we can continue to the underground caves.
He is becoming stronger with every step he takes. His prowess in battle is undeniable. He will need it now. Goblins are one thing, but there are other creatures in the dark places of the world, creatures who know nothing of his plight, but fight for their very survival. Many fallen brothers are testament to this. Indeed, their bleached bones adorn the tortuous tunnels in this god-forsaken place. He runs ever onward into peril. I wonder who the prey is, and who is the hunted. Perhaps when the time comes, these creatures will know fear as they look into the eye of their quarry. Go, my friend, save your love.
Alright, so there are gonna be terrible creatures under the Great Deku Tree. And they are worse than goblins. I wonder what that could possibly be. Oh, that's a chasm. So I wasn't supposed to do that, obviously. And it's really hard to see where some of these ledges are sometimes. And by sometimes I mean half the time. Oh no, what could this be? Could it be Shelob or Ungoliant, or a fancy new name that they're gonna come up with for these? Oh, okay, right into the QuickTime event. Here we go, so yeah, these spiders are actually kind of a bitch to fight. From what I remember, certainly compared to anything else we've seen so far. Oh yeah, they can actually guard if they like curl up like that one just did. And if they do that, they can pretty much move straight into a unblockable attack sometimes. Oh jeez, yeah, like this, hang on. Because you can see it coming kind of, because it's really obvious when they're doing that. And I kind of wish that when they weren't doing the unblockable attack, you could actually what you call it, you could actually stagger them before they attack, but I can kind of understand why that's not the case. But here we got a new character. This character is Giant Spider. The largest type of known arachnid, much more aggressive than any of the normal-sized varieties of spider. They can be found in almost any environment, as I'm sure you'll be glad to hear, but they prefer dark, soggy places like old forests or grottos. They can weave webs of sticky silk that they use to trap their prey before eating them. Spider silk is extremely strong and can even be used to make rope of incredible durability. The population has shrunk in recent years due to mankind's encroachment on their natural habitat. Aren't you glad to hear that? Alright. So now that we've had that pleasant new encounter, let's continue on and see what else lies below the great Deku tree here. Well, we got more of these wolfy boys, and you know, as well as the problem we have with their trying to lock onto them, I guess. Oh boy, and the giant spider too. We could fight all of these things at once, because that seems like a good deal. Boy, time for some Dark Souls dodge roll combinations. Oh boy. And then more of the wolves show up, which makes this kind of a not really that manageable, to say the least. Yeah, we can also get shot with silk by the spiders, I forgot about that little detail. And then we have to do another quick time event to get free. And we can get poisoned, I forgot about that. And we need to activate light magic, which at least immediately undoes the poison effect instead of having to I don't know, attack ones with light magic, I guess, would be an expectation, since that's what you normally need to do to heal yourself. Alright, there we go. We survived. Isn't that nice? Also find a box with nothing inside. Okay. It's a little bit unexpected. I think this is pretty much every stage after, like, after level 3 is gonna have some things that we're gonna have to backtrack to obtain. I'm almost completely certain we're gonna have to find something like that in this stage. Some contraption that we can't actually do anything about right now, and we won't be able to do anything about during our first run through. We're gonna have to come back to, like, this thing right here. I don't know if we're gonna be able to... Yeah, if we're gonna be getting the thing that we need to take care of that thing right now, or we're gonna have to come back in the future. I would bet on the latter. I don't know if I should try to jump down to the left here. Probably not. Probably not a great idea. So this is also kind of a labyrinth. It's not really linear or that easy to navigate. Just gonna have to find... Well, I think it makes a little more sense, because I think you actually have to explore and find, like, different ends of this place if you want to proceed. I'll just say that for now. Also got this door right here. Find a way to blow this barrier, which... Oh hey, well, you know, it's only after we... Oh fuck. Only after we examine that the goblin army shows up. But now that they have, we can actually blow the barrier, so... Isn't it nice how things work out? Oh shit, and then we get blown up too. So what's behind the vulnerable barrier here? What's a dead guy? We found a runic stone key, which... pretty sure we need both of these to actually get out of here. And that's why there's multiple paths to take. Okay, there's another guy over there, but you might notice if you look closely, there's a very thin path of spiderweb between these two places, so we get to walk the tightrope and get over there. Find a scroll. I've abandoned my quest, it is hopeless. I don't want to die to end up like my fellow brothers, falling to the wayside, by the wayside. Destined to be a resource from some other adventurer. Well, unfortunately, it's a little late for that. Fortunately, that will end up being the case. That has ended up being the case, to be more precise. Alright, I think we... Actually, I was gonna say I think we've seen this place before, but I don't... closer inspection, I don't think that's quite right. I think this is where we're gonna have to go at the end of our little excursion in this cave. Tree root place. Because this is where you put the runic stone keys. So we need to open this door with both of them. But we only have one of them now, so... can't very well finish up with that. Nope, now is the time for us to return and... oh, right at the end. And find out where the other one of these is lying around. Well, here's another dead guy. Been following the trail of Rinaldo Gandolfi, famed alchemist and fellow of the Brotherhood of Light. He certainly used his skills in this dark time. He created many magical relics, and that he had them in hard-to-find places where only the most committed and deserving may stumble upon them, but still stumble upon them they most, as opposed to seeking them out specifically, I guess. Alright, so... oh yeah, we saw this place before. Just didn't follow this path in particular. At least I don't think so. Maybe we did. Oh no, we didn't. Hang on. Okay, before I do follow this path in particular, let me backtrack a little bit more. To back here and... hang on. And, okay, there's another path here. Did I? Didn't go along this path yet, did I? Pretty sure I'm gonna want to, though. But here's another dead guy. Does he have a scroll? Yes, he does. Spiders are surprisingly quick and agile. I've heard a skilled warrior may even tame one to a certain degree, if it tires enough and ride it like a warthog. Their webs can be used to weave bridges strong enough to bear the weight of a grown man. Must be crazy to believe such a thing. Well, okay, I think we're gonna end up in the same place that we could have gotten to before here, or gotten to from a different angle. Kinda want to cross this little path to see whether or not that's the case. Oh boy. Oh boy, I sure don't want to be attacked while I I'm still on the Silk Bridge. Oh, sometimes the spider just pretty much sits there and takes it. Like right now. Damn it. I thought I was... Well, I did see that coming, but... I believe that I was gonna be able to react to it in time was apparently erroneous. Right, so that takes care of one more spider buddy. But there's gonna be the same room that we saw before, but I guess not. The same room that... I don't really know how to describe it, but... relative to where we are now, but basically one of the places I had seen where... I entered from ground level, I guess. And I turned back because I didn't want to explore that particular place just yet, but then thought I had ended up in the same place, just from a different angle. Oh boy, where's this gonna take me to? Oh, here we go. Oh, the runic stone key, so I can, I can go open that door now if I want, because I found the second key, but before I do that, let me just go back through here real quick. And take this path this time. See, maybe this is the same room and I was just looking at the wrong angle there. Yes it is, okay. There we go. And I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be stuff inside of those breakable things like, I don't know, daggers and sub-weapons and whatnot, but I guess there's not that big of a need for that right now, since we only have one sub-weapon, that being a dagger, the daggers, and we're not really gonna be able to, well, we're not gonna get the next set of sub-weapons for a little while yet, I don't think. We only get them in story-mandated intervals, so... can't just randomly stumble into a variety of sub-weapons like we can in the old arcade Castlevanias. There's one sub-weapon in particular that we pretty much spend a big amount of the story missions trying to obtain, but then at the end, after we do obtain it, it's extremely arbitrary whether we even end up using it or not. It's pretty stupid, but well, that's pretty much all I'm gonna say about that for now. Because we made it to another mausoleum place. We can charge up our cross with sappy technology to upgrade it again. So maybe we will be able to open up that thing that we saw earlier. Bam. Our chain is the spiky chain. Built two different chains for the combat cross, but this one was never approved by the Brotherhood for obvious reasons. Well, spikes were too cruel for the holy nature of the weapon. Instead of destroying it, the artisan hid the links in one of the mausoleums. Now it can be used to saw through obstacles and to tame dangerous monsters by looping it around our necks. Oh boy. We can't actually tame any monsters until after we obtain this, so... Right, hold on a bit. Before I... That might actually be the end of the level, so before I go through there... Let me backtrack, because as you might recall, there is one place where we can use that right now. So I might as well take advantage of that. I think we're going this way. I think this should be the easier way to get to the place I'm thinking of. Hopefully, possibly, ostensibly. I would hope so. Yeah, I think so. Yep, it's right here. This thing right here. We can now do this. This is what soil looks like, right? And that's how it ends up. And so we can reach one more dead guy who yields a blue light gem, so got one more for the collection, I guess. I guess we're gonna take this path to get back to the door, and so we can get out of here now. This path I don't even remember. Well, there we go. I'm gonna say I don't even remember what it looks like or how it goes, but let's heal the minuscule amount of damage we took with oh yeah, I forgot about this thing. Minuscule amount of damage we took with the health font. Might as well make use of that as well. Shouldn't just sit there doing nothing. And now we go through here. Okay, apparently this isn't quite the end, but it does show us that we're supposed to go destroy one of these things. Just to sort of show us how it's done. Then they just dissolve into dust. Okay, here we go. Here's the end of the stage. Got the magic gem, and apparently that's all the extras we need to get for this stage, so there's that, at the very least. Let's check out the labyrinth entrance, and maybe I'll leave it off after this one.
So he has found another of Gandalf's upgrades. This was unforeseen, though it should prove useful in the challenges to come. The lost city of Aghata looms before him. I wonder if you know what truly lies ahead for you, Gabriel, what God has in store for you. The land of the Lycans. This ruined city now belongs to their lord, and you can be sure he will not allow you to pass without forfeiture of your life. But in order to bring her back, you need to defeat him, my friend. You need to crush him into the dust, like the worm that he is.
The Dark Lord is nothing but a low-down, double-dealing, backstabbing, larcenous, perverted worm. Hanging's too good for him. Burning's too good for him. Okay. Extremely obscure references are great. It's a pheasant. It's just kind of skittering around here. Can we kill it? Probably not, since we couldn't kill the frog earlier. It's just for ambience. So there's a big old door here. Maybe goblin grenades would be useless against it. What could we use then? Maybe we need to do something a little bit more physical. Like a pig. Goblin ridden pig. Literally ridden. Oh boy. Goblin ridden pig, who's apparently very hard to dodge if that's even possible. Okay, something tells me like it's not possible to block the pig. But now that it's stunned, we can mount it with RT. and ride the Warthog. You can press X or Y to perform melee attacks. They can also be used as a battering ram. We can also dismount and kill the Warthog when we're done, so we can run over the goblins with this. Just kind of go GTA on it, and we can also take a run up to the door. Oh boy. And yeah, take a run up because we got a very convenient runway right here for us to make use of. And okay, I guess we don't have to press any additional stuff, we just have to run in that direction, so it seems. And okay, apparently one ramming is not enough, we need a little bit more. And there we go, we can now strangle our mount. Because why would we want to leave the piggy alive? And there's another pheasant. Well, I do want that guy to get back here so I can heal from him. I guess it's not gonna happen though, that sucks. There's a tiny sliver of health that I would like to get back. I guess we'll leave that for another time, right? Let's go ahead and climb up here. See what else there's in store for us. We got some more tightrope shenanigans to go through, as you can see. Hey, dead guy, what have you got for me today? We got one normal scroll, right. By testing my fighting skills and have discovered that if I block often I can increase my focus. I can focus much quicker, which enables me to keep my magic on all the time during combat. Well, that doesn't make sense, because if you keep your magic on all the time, that you're not able to keep the focus on it. Well, whatever. Interpretations. There's also a hidden little chamber here with another dead guy, just speared through, I guess. And he has a light magic gem. I'm trying to figure out if there's any parts below where we would be able to hang on to, any ledges we would be able to grip. Must be true that I should try to drop down to so I can grip, but something tells me that that is not the case. It's just what would you call it? Sucker bait. I don't even know. You can push away from a wall and then press A to let go. Right. Okay, there we go. Yeah, my narcolepsy is starting to, well, not literal narcolepsy, but my extreme tiredness is starting to show up again, so I'm probably gonna end it off after this stage. Let's rotate the mechanism. Or not, because we're being interrupted by these wolfy boys. That's very rude, you know. Right now, maybe we can rotate the mechanism with left stick. Mechanism, which of course looks like a bull's horn, because why wouldn't you just make it shaped like that? It's all about the class, don't you know? It's like having one of those, I don't know, like adorning your living room with one of those paintings of the clown crying. Oh yeah, Okay, I was gonna say, why am I moving so slow? And it's because we're supposed to be focusing on what's going on in the foreground there. Looks like there might be an even bigger Wolfie boy approaching right now. It's gonna be time to find out exactly how we deal with those. But not before we get another scroll. Each creature is weak against a particular weapon. If one is clever, one can deduce what each creature's weakness is and use it against them. There's a bestiary that will tell me what I need to know about each monster and how best to defeat it. We're already making something like that for ourselves, I guess. If you look in the monster entries, you can actually see like which sub-weapons are deadlier against a certain kind of enemy. We got more daggers in that bag, but we can't carry any more daggers, so it's a moot point. I can break more of the... Wait, what? Okay, this section of the wall looks weak. It's like crumbling and dusting, but we're not yet strong enough to be able to break through it. Actually, don't think I would have noticed that on my own. To be perfectly honest with you. This doesn't look like a jump that you can make, but here we are. Here we are at the next big old door with a face. And we got more goblins, one of which has, pretty sure, the lever that we need to move the mechanism needed to get out of here, so... Oh, right. Did you know that goblins have ranged weapons? I did, but apparently I forgot about it. Who's throwing the bombs? Or is it you? Let's take care of the ones that are wily enough to do something like that first. You're clearly the greater threat. Okay. Let's heal now. Ah, okay. That's a lucky dodge. Right, we killed all the gobs, I think. One of them was supposed to be carrying her. Oh, nope, there's the guy. So once we get rid of that guy, let's see what else will continue. Well, got another big old hairy man with, can apparently, oh boy, who can apparently light the fuse for one of those grenades with one nail. It's an interesting ability to have. And let's see if we can get rid of this hairy man without... Oh, he can punch the ground and do like a shockwave. Actually, did not remember that. Oh, he can follow up a normal swipe with a shockwave. I did not remember that. I don't remember any of how you're supposed to fight these fuckers, basically. Oh, right, that was not a perfect guard, come on. It's clearly not a perfect guard. So the good old fighting game tactic of just guard and then punish right after seems to be working out quite well for this guy. And hey, we can finish him off now. Wait, pretty sure this is the exact same thing you do to finish off some of the enemies in God of War 2. I think the like Minotaur or Minotaur-esque enemies in that game. Finish them off the same way. You like force open their jaws like in the 2005 King Kong movie. So now that all of the ruckus in the arena has been dealt with. It's partly all for nothing, because this whole thing just fell apart. Alright, that was the end of the stage. Defeated one greater lycanthrope, guessing that's what that guy was at the end, and there was a weapon upgrade that we did not find, but that's okay. Waterfall to the guard. You know what? Fuck it, let me do one more.
This ancient city occupies many layers, each one being the foundation for the next. It is a labyrinthine maze of dead ends and forgotten walkways. Danger lurks around every corner. He has shown great resilience, but this journey will take him longer than anticipated and deeper than any man has ever ventured in centuries. He will need all his wits to find an alternative route into the heart of the city, where his destiny awaits him.
The heart of the city. Okay, I think we're gonna run into some plot here, so I don't know. Maybe I should leave this for the other next time I do this. I don't know. Waterfall to the guard. You know what? Fuck it, let me do it. I don't think this is the one that I'm thinking of. Let's just do this one and then quit out. Because yeah, my proclivity at being able to make words with my brain is also getting less and less possible. By collecting enough, I will become invincible. Those fools are busy trying to save the world, while I will soon be able to conquer it with my newfound power. Oh boy. Well, I guess someone with a bunch of these gems would be pretty advantageous, but if they forget to block, you know. I think I'm pretty good proof that that's not even if you have like theoretically maxed out shit, it might not be enough if you're incompetent like me. Speaking of incompetent, let's see what happens when I try to fight an elder spider. Speeder. Ah, see, like that. It's good shit. I'll try the dagger actually. Yeah, it doesn't really do much. Dagger's kind of not really worth it against any enemies that aren't lycanthropes. I thought I wasn't going to be able to dodge away from that in time. Oh, there you go. And now we can mount the spider, like so. We are now a spider jockey. Can perform a melee attack or a range attack, and we can interact with the world around them with Y. Can also kill the spider once we're done riding it, so we can attack by leaping forward like that, or we can spit our web. So this is Donkey Kong Country 2 all over again. You can also web up stuff like this tree. And pull it down like so. I guess it wasn't at quite the right angle before. And the spider dropped a light magic gem, did it really? I did not remember this at all, but there we go, get a free light magic gem for killing that thing. I just remember that it didn't actually jump out at me before, but stuff where you collect like 5 of each thing. Or rather a certain number of each thing, and you like get this little visual representation of when you collect a new one. That's also a thing from God of War, but in that game you collect like, I don't know, feathers and eyes to upgrade your health and your magic. But the mechanic looks pretty much the same way, so you know, that's yet another way in which this game is like God of War. Oh boy. Oh, it's a big wolfy boy. Oh, it's gonna be a small one. Well. Yeah. Alright. I think really there's not too much of a science to fighting these guys. It's either you wreck them or you get wrecked yourself. Alright, come on. Just please do not be alive anymore. Thank you for your cooperation. There we go. And we got some of our daggers back too. Isn't that nice? So, where do we go from here? Because I don't really see any way to proceed. Oh, okay. Also move left and right when we're hanging on to the edge of a wall like this. And press A to get loose sometimes. There we go. Other times it just doesn't really do anything. So what is this now? Let's walk slowly because we're still in camera cutscene exposition mode. Oh boy, we got one big boy and a few small boys now, it looks like. That's alright. Okay. Thought one coming, but I guess I didn't get far enough away in time, even though it doesn't look like the reach is that long. Now I'll have to use the magic to see if I can mitigate my incredible incompetence. Man, let me tell you though, the first time I played this, I wasn't used to the God of War style gameplay at all. It's pretty much the first game I played that had combat like this. You know, make of that what you will, but what I'm basically trying to lead up to with that is that I got wrecked so much more the first time I played this. I didn't have any kind of judgment for how to best handle this type of combat. And if anything, I guess I've gotten a little bit more acclimated to it now. It's one thing I've taken away from all this. Oh. So that's not always the same button like I thought it was for a minute. So what does this guy have? Another scroll. Revisiting previous areas can yield beneficial results. I became stronger. I've been able to revisit locations and obtain valuable items to enhance my skills. Okay. I don't know how much of that I'm gonna do though, because even when I was playing this game casually, I never really took the time to get everything as far as optional gems and all that stuff. So let me tell you, some of the levels in this are just a massive pain to go through no matter what. Even if it does theoretically get easier and easier as you get more of that stuff. No, you know, not the theoretically. And that easiness is, as always, offset by my own incompetence, so... So let's see. Oh boy. Little proboscis troll here. It's really hard to do anything. So it seems. But maybe this guy does. Oh boy. Instant quicktime event. That sounds very nice. And, you know, by that I mean the fact that I have an instant quicktime event, not the fact that I am suddenly being grappled and potentially crushed to death. That's literally not as good as being forced into a quicktime event. Not as bad. Okay. Time to make use of my music again. The music which is very quickly squandered as I just fail to take advantage of the benefits it brings, i.e. life. I fail to conserve it because I am not good at that. Okay, come on, I need to take care of the big guy, because as you might imagine, that's from some of the stuff we've been doing with the big monsters recently. Actually gonna be pretty important, okay. Shit, well. He can also hurt his bodies, as you can see, so that kinda offsets the terrible things that happen when you get attacked by it. So now we can mount the troll. He can perform melee attacks, and they can smash heavy obstacles. So let us take advantage of that. We can destroy our little troll bodies like so. We can knock them down casually by just running into them, or we can destroy stuff like these big rocks here. So this is Dragon's Dogma now, I guess. Even though I feel Dragon's Dogma would have been a lot better if, you know, they would have allowed you to ride a troll like this. Just tame it and mount it. And then strangle it, because trolls are a massive pain in the ass to fight in Dragon's Dogma. Those are the few things I remember clearly from that game. So let's see what else. We're gonna have to face before we're done with this place. Well, there's a breakable thing back here. And now there isn't anymore. So maybe we have to go that way. Let me see what's here down the other way, just to, you know, just check, because I'm definitely going after the stuff that's potentially missable and optional first. Because that's generally a good idea. And an advisable course of action, because that's good stuff. Alright. What do we got behind the waterfall here? We got some guy with a gem. Oh boy, we can finally upgrade our little magic meter. Isn't that nice? Oh, that's actually quite a good upgrade. These upgrades are actually quite a bit more than I thought they would be for a single upgrade. Also, what do we get? Oh, we got getting more of these monster entries that I'm missing. Did you... Jesus Christ. Apparently jet engines are very common these days. The genealogy of these monster spores has been kept a secret among goblin tribes for centuries. Animal husbandry for warthogs, okay. They are so scarce that having more than one of these is only something only a few goblin tribes can aspire to. You can also consume all the rubbish and leftover scraps of food, okay. So they're very environmentally conscious. Greater lycanthrope. Spawned from the Dark Lord himself. In this case, his third condition is not considered a disease, as the transformation process has been deliberately chosen. Only a handful of his more loyal acolytes have received such a gift. These elite guards are for special missions. And yet they fall like generic enemies do. Biologically speaking, small and great trolls are more or less equals. Large subspecies is fairly aggressive, whereas small trolls are cowardly and will quickly flee when outnumbered. They will throw rocks at adversaries, as trolls are wont to do, I guess, if you believe the general depiction in myth. They are aggressive and territorial. This can sometimes result in attacks on humans who are foolish enough to encroach on their natural habitat. Cave trolls are usually passive around their own kind and rarely attack each other, though they will often kill to protect their kindred. When trolls die of old age, they turn to stone, and this can clearly be seen in certain rock formations if one looks closely enough. Right. And apparently the dagger, which is the only weapon we have right now, pretty much doesn't do that much to them, so... Basically don't use daggers when fighting these trolls, and looks like that's all that we have over here. That blue magic gems, so aren't you glad that I decided to explore, because I could have missed that. Which could have led to potential complications later on, but I don't know. Pretty sure it's perfectly possible to get through the entirety of this game without, you know, collecting any gem power-ups. But I can only imagine how complicated that would make certain parts of the game, because, let me tell you, if this seems... how do I put this? If this seems not really that easy, not really that manageable as far as... or not really that forgiving as far as difficulty, it gets much, much worse later on. But I guess by that point you're kind of used to it because of this combat system. It stays fairly relevant throughout the whole game. That's one pro I guess I can say for it. It's very God of War-ish in that regard, as well as everything else. Look at all this Dark Souls rolling. Okay, I need to get some blue magic in here or else I'm gonna fucking die. You don't want to be died. You don't want to be die. I just said that, yes. You don't want to fuck be die. There we go. Can't carry any more daggers. I should probably use more of those daggers against the big old wolves. Seems like a more reasonable way to whittle their health down without getting all up at their face and getting smacked around. Alright, come on. I need to jump across here, as you see. To see what every last corner of this cave has in store for me. Apparently what the next little clearing here has is another spider incident. And I would imagine from the way this one is doing what it's doing right now, gonna have to mount it. Oh, just straight up against by doing that. Alright. I guess that's fine. Come on. So even if you stop attacking it when it's, you know, guarding like this, before it decides to retaliate, it might still actually retaliate in a very delayed way. Right, I would like to get some more of these orbs. Okay, the spider is stunned. Guess I'm not getting more orbs after all. And now the spider mount is mine. So let's go ahead and craft a bridge to serve as a web bridge, I suppose. Just carefully, I guess you can just tell the spider to do that by nudging it a certain way while mounting it, I guess. I'm forced to assume this by what I've just witnessed. Alright, so what do we got here? other than this entrance and a place in which to recharge our orbs, so it didn't really matter that we didn't manage to do that before, I guess. Wait, time to destroy some statues, I guess. I look at this statue and the very first thing I think is I better destroy that thing. Better use my chains to saw it. Oh, we have to do this, I guess. To get the evil red magic medallion as well as the blue one. Well, maybe not necessarily evil, but we got the shadow magic medallion. And, will inflict more damage at the cost of shadow magic energy. Well, we can read about it on the item thing, I'm sure. You are born only by a select few of the Brotherhood. Most fear the use of shadow magic and its application, but some feel that in order to defeat evil, one must learn both the light and dark aspects of magic, so this is dark magic, I suppose. We can transform neutral elemental orbs into shadow energy. And upgrading it works the same way as with the other stuff. As with the, what do you call it? As with the blue magic, you need to get 5 of the red magic runes to be able to upgrade it, so in order to fill it up, we need to come back here and absorb the orbs from this thing, and now that we have that, we can turn it on with RB and touch this thing to activate it. Combine both. We can use light magic to replenish health like we've been doing, or we can use shadow magic to inflict more damage. And I think I will do so only sparingly, however. You don't need either of these things to beat the, to help you get through most fights. If you know what you're doing, which I barely do, but apparently I know enough. Don't get on both sides of me, that's very rude. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be focusing on light magic for the most part, because who needs shadow magic, honestly? Yeah, we can also power up our sub-weapons. As you might have seen, we can now use explosive daggers, which are pretty much daggers thrown while shadow magic is active, and they do more damage, ostensibly. Don't know if that really makes a difference, since we can already do stuff like, one-shot the lycanthropes. But I guess it's better than not having them, right? Well, for now, let's see whether the end of this stage is going to be close by, because goddamn, I am very... Oh. Damn it, I thought there was going to be a ledge there with a secret, maybe, but I guess not. Guess my eyes failed me that time. Get to prolong this stage a little more, oh boy, after I say, or try to say it before interrupting myself. Sure to hope that this little exploration escapade ends soon, because the extreme sleepiness tendencies that I've been struck with are starting to catch up with me again. And gee, I sure wouldn't want to fall asleep on stream again. And even less so when there's no one else around to... Oh shit. To help correct my goof, I guess. Oh boy. Maybe I can climb up here, and there we go. plot thing that's gonna happen soon that I thought was gonna happen in this stage isn't gonna happen yet. It's probably gonna happen in the next one though, Agartha, yeah. Pretty sure I know what the last 3 stages are gonna be, but I don't remember what the one after this one is gonna be. The last 3 stages of this chapter, I mean. Chapter 1, Chapter 2. Look at all the rest of this game we have to go through, and then we have to go through the portable interquel between this game and Lords of Shadow 2, and then Lords of Shadow 2, which is of a similar duration. And Avast says Bayonetta has been added to the list of games that I can play without interruptions, even though that's not the game I was playing just now, but it is another Steam game that I've been playing recently. Which is also very similar to this style of gameplay, you know. Action-based combat, some exploration puzzles. Kinda God of War, Devil May Cry-esque. More Devil May Cry than anything, though. Since I think that's kind of even a spiritual successor of sorts. But, you know, a fun fact, I had to look it up because I'm pretty sure Bayonetta has some things that are also kind of awkwardly rehashed in Lords of Shadow, and I looked it up, and sure enough, Bayonetta 1 predates Lords of Shadow by, like, several months at least. I don't know if that's enough for that to have enough time for that to have that much of an influence, but you never know. Especially with Spanish developers. I don't know why I said that, but whatever. That's Lords of Shadow. The beginning of that little saga, and I will be continuing that sometime. Probably next week. Next weekend, that is, since next week is gonna be the last week that I'm gonna have responsibilities this year. There's that. Got a pretty heavy workload to take care of, but after this next week is over, then I am done. So I might be streaming a little bit more often. I might even see if I can finish the Lords of Shadow games, and therefore the Castlevania Marathon before the end of the year, but I wouldn't be holding my breath for that because these games are gonna take a little while. Gonna take a little while to get through. It's they're special. Maybe not as special as stuff like Judgment, but they're still pretty special. So yeah, I will see you all soon. I thank everybody for coming like always. I thank people for chatting always week whenever people chat. And I will be seeing you next week. I don't have any music from this game downloaded, I don't think, so I'll just play some more. Tell you what, I'll play some Castlevania 4 music because I believe this song from Castlevania 4 is actually very vaguely remixed into one of the ambient themes from Lords of Shadow, so I'll just leave off with that. And yeah, I'll see you all later.